Hello everybody, this is Mr. Robin. Today, I'm going to make my predictions for the pay-per-view this Sunday, AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling's Forbidden Door. This is something different on the channel, but this is something I want to start doing on certain Fridays before big pay-per-views on the weekend, or just big things that's happened in general in the wrestling world. Just kind of talk about it and just kind of give you my rundown of what I think of the matches are going to happen, as well as, my take on if certain big news happened earlier in the week. If you're excited for more episodes like this, make sure you drop a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more wrestling content here on the channel. And also, I'd like to know your guys' predictions for Forbidden Door. I'm going to make mine in just a minute, but I want to know your predictions. You can leave them down in the comment section below. Will you even be watching it and stuff like that? So let's get into it. This Sunday, June 26th, AEW and NJPW are getting together and they're co-producing a super show called Forbidden Door. This is the first time that they have co-produced a pay-per-view together, and it's kind of a big deal because these are the two biggest companies in the world not named WWE, and they are coming together. We've seen them work together in the past and seen some, superstars, or not superstars, wrestlers, sorry, WWE mode right now. Certain wrestlers appear on both shows and just kind of cross-promote, but this is the first big show. Personally, I will not be watching it, and that's because, in my opinion, the hype the build hasn't really been all there. I think they just kind of expect you to know who everybody is, and as somebody who doesn't watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, I'm not fully into all the stuff that goes on over there. I do know the big names and stuff like that, and I do keep track of who's the champions, but I don't really know much about the upper mid card and the mid card superstars. And I think they didn't really do a good job of just making sure you get introduced to those certain people. It's just kind of oh, here's so and so popping up on AEW. Wow, it's so amazing they're actually popping in for the first time, and there's really no follow up about that. They'll have a match or two, but there's not an introduction as to who they are. And I'll touch on that more as I do my predictions. When I touch on certain superstars, wrestlers, I might not know, but it should be a good show from a wrestling standpoint. There should be lots of good action. It's just the build hasn't all been there. I think some of it's just been rushed as well, just to kind of get certain people on the show. But nonetheless, let's start with our predictions. First match is Zack Sabre Jr. versus a wrestler to be announced. Now, this is obviously supposed to be Zack Sabre versus Bryan Danielson. It was going to be a technical masterpiece, but Bryan Danielson is unfortunately hurt, and he has picked a replacement for this match. Now, that is kind of unfortunate because this is probably, maybe other than another match, this is probably one of two dream matches that is worthy of being a co-produced show like this. You have the two best technical wrestlers in the world going at it, and now you don't even have that. It is intriguing to see who Danielson will pick as his replacement, so that kind of helps with this a little bit. It kind of helps make up for the fact that Danielson's not there. But it is unfortunate we're not going to see Sabre Jr. versus Danielson. As far as who I think the replacement is, obviously a lot of people, there's the three that's going around. It's either going to be Johnny Gargano, Claudio Castagnoli, or the former Cesaro, and Jonathan Gresham. Those are the three that a lot of people, including myself, think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be Gargano. I think it's either going to be Claudio or Jonathan Gresham. Personally, I want it to be Claudio because I love him when he was Cesaro in WWE. I think he was the most underutilized superstar on that roster, and I just loved his matches. But I think it's going to be Jonathan Gresham here. He kind of fits that technical aspect. Danielson did kind of, allude to the fact that they are a technical as well as a brawler for Blood and Guts. And I don't know if Gresham really fits for Blood and Guts, so to speak. He's got the technical aspect down, but I don't know if he really fits the bill. But, with AEW buying ROH recently, you want to get some spotlight on those wrestlers. And I think this would be a good spot for Jonathan Gresham. I think he is going to be the replacement opponent, and I do think he'll end up beating Zack Sabre Jr. So that's my first prediction. The next matchup is an 8-man tag match. Bullet Club's El Phantasmo, Hikuleo, and the Young Bucks are teaming up against Dudes with Attitudes, which is Darby Allin, Sting, and then the Los Ingobernables de Japon's Shingo Takagi and Hiromu Takahashi. This is the ultimate thrown together match just to get everybody on the card. This is a way to get the Young Bucks on, as well as Darby Allin and Sting. There's really no build behind this. I mean, maybe Los Ingobernables and the Bullet Club members have some beef, but this is what I'm talking about. They don't really do a good job at relaying that to, the AEW American audience, because I have no idea why the heck the other four guys are in this. And honestly, the only reason why the Young Bucks are here is because they so happen to be, affiliated with Red Dragon, which is hurt, unfortunately. But this is just a thrown together match. I think the dudes with attitudes are going to win. I think Sting's going to get a win, and Darby Allin as well as the Los Ingobernables de Japón guys. And I think that'll just be a moment that makes the crowd happy. The next match, the one that is not cross-affiliated, is Thunder Rosa putting the AEW Women's World Championship on the line versus Toni Storm. This one, I think this should be a pretty good match. Unfortunately, the women don't get a lot of love in AEW, and they only really get one segment. And I think it's too early to take the title off Thunder Rosa. She's the one who beat Britt Baker. Obviously, they had plans for her to be the champion for a while. There's been rumblings backstage that she hasn't really endeared herself to everybody, but she's not going to lose to Toni Storm. This is definitely Thunder Rosa's match to win. Next up, the three-way winner-take-all matchup. FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler versus United Empire's Great-O-Khan versus Jeff O'Cobb versus Roppongi Vice and Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero for both the ROH World Tag Team Championship and the IWGP Tag Team Championship. This is another match that's, it's had a little bit. We've seen FTR and United Empire or Roppongi Vice kind of interact recently. They just had the big tag team match on this past Dynamite in the 6-man, and this honestly is kind of unpredictable in my opinion, just because it is winner-take-all format. Who's going to walk away, both ROH and IWGP Tag Team Champions? And I'm going to go a little bit of a wild card here. I think it's going to be Roppongi Vice. Yes, they might seem like the team that's in this match just to take the pin, considering they're not champions, but they're really the only team, in my opinion, that would work both ROH/AEW and IWGP, because Rocky Romero is with New Japan and Trent Beretta is with AEW, and they kind of work back and forth. Rocky Romero is not just exclusively with New Japan, while the other two, I don't really know. My second guess would be FTR. I do think FTR is a safe bet to win this. I can see them being IWGP Tag Team Champions for not a long time, and then just quickly lose the belts, maybe make an appearance over there in Japan once, but I think this is going to be Roppongi Vice. United Empire, I do not see them being ROH Tag Team Champions. They'll probably just go back to New Japan for this show. So I'm going to go with Roppongi Vice here, maybe a little bit of a wild card, but they're really the only team I see splitting between both companies on the rig. Next up, we got Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. This should be a fun match. I'm a big fan of Will Ospreay's work. I think he's a great talent. I think he carries himself like he knows. You could tell he's passionate about wrestling. He carries himself with a very high, demeanor, and he thinks highly of the sport. And I do like Will Ospreay. He's very fluid in the ring. He tells a great story. I like how he's not fully just like a high flyer anymore. He still incorporates other aspects of his game. But I'm not going to go on the Ospreay hype train that much longer. I do think he'll be Orange Cassidy here. I do like Orange Cassidy, but Cassidy's not going to be IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion, especially beat someone of Will Ospreay's caliber, who is a former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. So I think Will Ospreay safely wins this match. Next up, another 6-man tag match. This time it's Les Sex Gods, Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara and Minoru Suzuki versus Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta, and Shota Umino. This is literally just, let's get Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston and company on the cards, because they have a big match this coming Wednesday on Dynamite in the Blood and Guts. This match is just thrown together. That big brawl at the end of Dynamite was kind of dumb this past Wednesday and really did nothing, in my opinion, to help advance this. Come on. There's just a bunch of people brawling around the ring, and just Moxley and Tanahashi are going to stare at each other for 5 minutes. But nonetheless, they just had to put these two on the card because they are going to have a match this coming Wednesday. And I do see Chris Jericho's team of him, Guevara, and Suzuki winning this, because I do think it'll be the good guys who win at Blood and Guts. So it's just a way to give the bad guys another win, as well as make Kingston and company's win that much better. And Shota Umino is 100% taking the pin in this match, because I don't even know who that guy is, and he's been name dropped twice. So yeah, he's getting pinned in this match. Next up, the 4-way match for the inaugural AEW All-Atlantic Championship, Pac versus Miro versus Malachi Black versus Clark Connors. Originally supposed to be Tomohiro Ishii, but he had to back out because of a knee injury. Regardless if I think this match should take place, I don't think AEW needs another secondary men's championship. What I would like for it to have been a 6-man tag team championship. Honestly, I don't think AEW needs another title anyway, but nonetheless, this match is happening. They're having another championship. I think it's going to be Miro. It's probably my favorites out of these four. I think Miro is a very good talent. I love his promos. It's very different. I like how it's like kind of cryptic, but you can kind of understand what he's saying. And I am a big fan of Miro. Malachi Black and Pac, I could see it going to Malachi Black as well. That can kind of help his House of Black stable. And then Pac, I don't really think he's going to win it. But I think Miro gets the win here. Yes, he is a former TNT champion, so I don't know if they'll put another secondary belt on him. But the House of Black and the Death Triangle continue their feud. Miro could take the title, and Clark Connors can kind of just be there and probably just take the pin. Next up, another four-way match, this time for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. It's Jay White versus Kazuchika Okada versus Hangman Adam Page versus Adam Cole. This is, I mean, there's been some build behind this. I know White beat Okada for the title just like a week ago at Dominion, and then Hangman, Adam Page, and Adam Cole have had their beef, and I think they've done a decent job of building this one up in the past couple of weeks. It's just kind of been the beatdowns. It was really cool to see Okada on Dynamite this past Wednesday, but I do think Jay White is going to retain the title here. He just won it. Yes, New Japan can kind of do hot potato title changes sometimes, and I honestly think they put the title on Jay White just because they wanted to have a IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match at this show, because they weren't entirely sure if Okada was going to be there, because he wasn't really announced until like this past Wednesday he made his first appearance. But nonetheless, I think Jay White retains here. I could see him losing it back to Okada though, but I think White will win. I do think he'll pin Adam Cole too, because they've kind of showed some dissension between those two, and I think that kind of furthers that plot. So I think Jay White gets the victory and retains the title. And then finally, the main event, Jon Moxley versus Hiroshi Tanahashi for the interim AEW World Championship. I wish they'd just say it's for the World Championship. I don't like having interim championships in wrestling. It works in MMA just because champions go, months at a time without defending their title in the first place. But when you have like a wrestling show, interim doesn't really make sense, because you should be at every show. And just strip CM Punk and just let him come back. And, he could have his belt and everything, and they could have two belts and then say who's the real champion. But I think it just looks better for the record books, for the reigns, just having regular champions. But that little side piece put away, I do think this will be Moxley's match to win. This is, 3 years in the making. I don't buy the whole, he's defending the company storyline that Tony Schiavone kept trying to sell this past Wednesday, but I do think this is Moxley matches to win. Tanahashi is not going to work AEW shows on the reg. He's just going to probably go back to New Japan. Plus, he's older. He still does really good for his age, but I just don't see Tanahashi really wanting to go to the States for a long time and just, hold down AEW until Punk gets back, because, who knows how long Punk is going to be out. Now, I know the original plan was Punk versus Tanahashi anyway for this show, but this is a good substitute. I don't see them holding off on that match by having Tanahashi hold the title. I think Moxley will win here, and they'll have a big Punk versus Moxley match down the line, because that honestly is one of the bigger matches AEW can sell at this point. I can see that if Punk is healthy, that could take place at All Out and just kind of be the headline of that show. But I do think this is Moxley's match. I would be surprised if Tanahashi won, but I wouldn't be like overly surprised. I would kind of get it. But this is probably going to go the way of Moxley. So that's it for my predictions for AEW and New Japan's Forbidden Door. I want to hopefully, you guys enjoyed this and enjoyed just listening to me talk for the past 13, 14 minutes. Gosh, it's already been that long on my predictions. Let me know, again, your predictions in the comments section below. Will you be watching the show, and what do you think of the build? This is Mr. Rob. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the next one.